Hi, okay. Let me speak briefly on what I've titled APC Convention and Nigeria's Future. Last couple of weeks, I did a video on how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu disqualified himself from contest in the 2027 presidential polls because of the electricity promise he made and failed to keep. He made the promise in 2022 and did not keep that promise. Now, at the weekend's APC so-called convention, he was at it again, or rather seemed to be at it again. I want you to watch this short clip. Watch.
I assure you, many of you lamenting the problem of electricity, power. Yes, we are paying attention to that. The Grid Asset Management Company, CAMCO, which will inject approximately 1,500 megawatts into a new grid corridor. We are going to improve on it. Electricity will become better, and be assured there will be opportunity in our industrialization path.
Okay, so two issues I want to highlight from the video you just watched. Like I stated before in the previous video, I will refrain from getting into technical or substantial issues of the challenges besetting the electricity sector. Reason being, there are at least 4 highly recommended videos I did from late 2023 all through 2024, where I gave a detailed analysis of the challenges besetting that sector, and with suggested recommendations, and all of this are available. You can see those videos on this channel. Now, the first issue I'd like to touch on briefly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu mentioned the setting up of the GAMCO, that is Grid Asset Management Company, which he claims when their job is done, they will be able to add 1,500 megawatts electricity to the national grid. Sadly, there's absolutely nothing concrete, that we can verify to corroborate this outlandish, claim. To my mind, it is just another political sloganeering or sound bites, which is good for television and newspaper headlines. Now, the GAMCO essentially is set up to first fix the structural, electrical, and security problems, associated with the failure of the grid, the national grid. And when this is done, it will translate into the grid functioning optimally, so that there are fewer collapses. There will be reduced loss of electricity on the grid, and then third, less stranded power, etc., etc. Now, give or take, knowing Nigeria the way I do, even if all of this, works the way it should, I mean, our bureaucracy challenges alone, this entire process that I just summarized will take 2 years. I know Nigeria very well. I mean, even the GAMCO is not properly set up or composed yet. It's not even properly set up yet. Now, after that is done, even if we achieve that, what we'll have achieved, in layman's analogy, is simply managing poverty or insufficiency. So, for the umpteenth time, and at the risk of sounding like a cracked vinyl, our generation capacity, our electricity generation capacity, at best times oscillates between 15,000 megawatts and 18,000 megawatts. That is what the 6 GENCOs we have, what they generate at best of times, oscillates between 15,000 and 18,000 megawatts. And though we generate this, we only are able to distribute less than 3,000 or 4,000 megawatts because of grid inefficiencies and other structural problems, debt to GENCOs and DISCOs, and the lack of gas supply. The list is ending, like I said. Now, so let's give the president the benefit of the doubt and assume that the GAMCO is able to add 1,500 megawatts in 1 to 2 years, bringing our total distribution to 5,000 megawatts of electricity. The question is, how does this really, impact our electricity access deficit? I'll tell you. Our combined household and industrial electricity need, is estimated at about 100,000 megawatts. What Nigerian households, 46 million households, making up 200 million population. What we need, plus industries and manufacture, what we need, MSMEs, what we need is about 100,000 megawatts to attain a $1 trillion economy. But let us scale down our ambition to 50,000 megawatts, which is equal to what South Africa generates, whereas South Africa has 1/3 of our population. South African population is about 55 million people, yet they distribute about 50,000 megawatts electricity. So let's say we do 50,000 megawatts, that's what we need. If we're able, with the GAMCO and all of that, we're able to add up to 5,000 megawatts, we still have an electricity deficit, distribution deficit of 45,000 megawatts. So I think the president merely read out what was put on paper for him by the guys running the electricity sector. The president has zero interest in nor understanding of the issues and complexities bedeviling that all too strategic sector. In my mind, he has absolutely no inkling of what the issues of that sector are. The second issue I want to touch on briefly is more personal to the president. Now, the video you watched at the start, does this video inspire hope and confidence in you about the president's physical, intellectual, emotional, and psychological fitness and readiness, to drive the necessary holistic national transformation we desperately need, not just in the area of electricity, but in tackling insecurity, mass poverty, reducing out of school children, provision of healthcare, etc., etc., even combating corruption? Does that video you saw, does it inspire confidence in you that the president is able to achieve all of this? Does it? Does the president appear to be in the right state to lead, inspire, influence, and galvanize men and resources towards achieving electricity access and other things? Is he able to work day and night, sitting at strategy sessions with his team, foreign, his cabinet members in the electricity sector, other sectors of the economy? Is able to sit with foreign consultants, meeting investors, local and foreign, leading lenders and donors, supervising, monitoring, and evaluating all of this to ensure targets, set targets are met, tangible, targets are met in a timely and measurable manner. Is he, even sustainable manner, is he able to do that? You see, 4 years ago, there were stories told, although unproven, of the president having serious health challenges. This is 4 years after 2022. We're seeing glaring evidences of serious physical impairment. Walking gingerly, signs of verbal incoherence, like you saw in the video, memory loss, etc., etc. Let me add, at this juncture, that leadership isn't a tea party, and leadership can never be outsourced, especially when you lead a country that is under assault, and confronted by serious threats and crises from all fronts, practically. In my considered opinion, as I conclude, I stand by my previous position. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu isn't qualified to contest the presidency next year, 2027. He simply cannot do the job. He hasn't got what it takes to deliver on the job. Nigeria is at a critical crossroads, and the type and composition of leadership needed must be hands-on, leading from the front foot, proactive, intellectually savvy, physically, psychologically, emotionally fit, competent, and capable. This is what Nigeria needs in 2027 going forward. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye for now.